From his controversial opinions on the DCEU's Flash being the best ever, to the fans straight up calling their performance mid, here's why the Flash director believes Ezra Miller is the best Flash ever. That's right. Andy Muschietti had nothing but praise for the actor. While appearing on a podcast, the director couldn't help but sing songs of praise for Ezra. Andy believes that they're the best actor for this job, and finding someone who can nail the red speedster as perfectly as they did is like finding a needle in a haystack. He went as far as to say that this version of the character is simply better than the rest. Now, those are some bold words, but it could be just to hype up the upcoming film, right? Judging by the way he spoke, though, you might think otherwise. 2023's The Flash is right around the corner, and it'll be Ezra's 6th or 7th time wearing the scarlet suit, depending on how you count the Justice League. From his debut in Batman vs. Superman to stealing the show in the Justice League, the actor has come a long way. And let's not forget their epic cameo in Suicide Squad. They even managed to sneak into Peacemaker's season finale. Talk about making your cameos count, but the best one by far would be from CW's The Flash series, where the speedster met an alternate version of himself. Now with a track record like that, no wonder the director was impressed. But that's not what really made Ezra so special in Andy's eyes. So what does... Well, the short answer is commitment. The director was in awe of how good Ezra is at acting. For one, he said that Ezra was outstanding in the dual role, which can be really tricky sometimes because you've got to play two characters with completely opposite personalities. But here's where things get even more interesting. You see, we're going to get more than just one version of The Flash in the 2023 movie, meaning we'll get to see two different Barry Allens, one that saved the entire world and has been through the whole DCEU story, and the other from 2013 who hasn't met Batman or joined the Justice League yet. Now, trying to keep those two roles distinct would have been Ezra's biggest challenge, but luckily, Andy said he pulled it off perfectly. He even added that Ezra's an amazing actor and one of the coolest he's ever worked with. The actor not only brought humor and emotions to the set, but also an insane amount of dedication and desire to perform all their own stunts. Andy also praised Miller for their contributions to the film and joked that they wanted to do multiple takes to get the scenes just right. It's kind of cool, honestly, because you can never be too sure about these things. And this is definitely what impressed Andy the most, but the director isn't the only one amazed by Ezra's performance. His sister, Barbara Muschietti, also sang praises for the actor. The producer spilled the tea on working with the star, saying that their dedication to the role was next level and enough to shock the entire team during principal photography. Barbara said that Miller's commitment to the task at hand, the urge to push themselves beyond limits, and the pure desire to exceed expectations is truly inspiring. Other than that, The Flash's second trailer not only gives us a glimpse into Miller's take, but also showcases a superhero reunion with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck returning as Batman, and Sasha Calle joining them as Supergirl. Together, they take on Superman's notorious foe, Zod. So get ready for an epic battle. Now, even though only a select few movie gurus got the chance to view the flick, word on the street is that it's a top-notch superhero movie that'll knock your socks off. Not only that, but the big boss man, James Gunn, himself has admitted that the move is by far DC's best. While talking about DCU's future slate, Gunn couldn't help but say that The Flash is freaking amazing, and even added that not only was it the best superhero movie he's ever watched, but also the best ever made. Now that's an approval everyone wants from their boss, and Andy and Ezra really knocked it out of the park with this one. As Barry Allen travels back in time to reset the whole universe, you wouldn't be wrong to think that with all the recastings, will Ezra play the Scarlet Speedster in the sequel? Well, when Andy said Miller is the best Flash in his eyes, he meant it, because according to him, Ezra was born to play Flash. And he promised that if there's going to be a sequel, Ezra will be a part of it. Now you might be thinking, with Gunn starting from scratch, there's no way that someone from DCEU could make their way into the new DCEU just because someone said so, right? But Andy isn't a nobody. In fact, he's about to become one of the biggest DC names in the studio. How? Well, The Flash is already a huge success according to Gunn, and Andy will also direct the upcoming Batman movie, which is on the same level as Gunn's Superman. This also makes the director sort of like James's right-hand man. Now I know that the studio hasn't released an official statement, but multiple trusted sources say that chances of it happening are pretty dang high. And if that's the case, Ezra's addition to the DCU won't just an opinion of a director, it'll be a desire for someone who's higher up in management. At this point, The only thing that can stop Miller from running into the DCU is the bosses and the critics. Well, for one, the critics loved the film with Ezra in the lead, and two, Gunn couldn't stop praising it, with Peter Safran saying that there could be a place for them in the DCU. So, it's almost certain that Ezra will continue playing the Scarlet Speedster, right? But hold it, Speedster, don't jump into the Speed Force just yet, as his scandalous past is a factor that needs to be considered. As the trailer zoomed in, the Flash's dynamic duo, the Muschietti siblings, gave a lightning-fast round of applause to Miller's performance. But that's not all. They even tackled the shocking amount of controversies the actor has been caught up in lately. And it looks like Ezra's been collecting a lot of legal charges lately, including harassment and burglary. That's right. The actor was caught red-handed stealing alcohol from a private home in Vermont. I guess someone just couldn't resist the temptation of a boozy Vermont night. They ended up pleading guilty to trespassing, but it seems like the burglary charge didn't quite stick. If you think this crazy ends here, you'd be dead wrong, because the actor took his role in Deadpool a little too seriously and decided to bring out his mercenary in front of a mother and her child. True story. But would you believe that wasn't even the worst? Well, you see, news got out in June of 2022 that back in 2016, Miller started grooming a 12-year-old. That's right, 12? And to make things even worse, the mother of another 12-year-old had to file a restraining order against them. Like, what the heck, man? Things had gotten so cuckoo for the actor that fans literally wanted them out of DC. But it seems like Miller realized that being a drama queen off-screen wasn't helping their career. So they took a break to work on their mental health and started their treatment. But despite all that, Andy still stands by his word. And to him, Ezra is the best version of the Flash. So if Miller plans to stay in the DCU for a long time, they better start acting straight. The actor might have promised to get back on the right path because the things he's done aren't something that anyone would easily forget. And the fans wasted no time in reminding everyone about that when the trailer was released. Even though it received a standing ovation, Miller got a few rotten tomatoes thrown at them, metaphorically. It seems like their presence in the film caused quite a stir among the fans. Some swore they'd rather watch paint dry than see them on screen, while others found it amusing how the studio is trying to play it cool and pushing his scandals under the rug. Now, even though not all reactions were as sour, it's still a sign of how unforgiving the fans can be, especially when there's another Flash who's more loved. That's right. As soon as Andy's comments made their way to the social media, the fans swung all in support of the GOAT Grant Gustin. One fan replied to his statement saying, "Yes, there is," with a picture of Grant, and another said, "We'll have to get used to Ezra's mediocre performance. Talk about being brutal." One fan even said that Grant's the best Flash. Yikes! I guess his words really backfired, huh? So there you have it, from the fans straight up calling them mid, to his controversial opinions on the DCEU's Flash being the best ever. This was why the Flash director believes Ezra Miller is the best Flash ever.